Hi, this is Rachel coming to you with this week's Sparkle of Shabbat. This week I wanted to share another challah tale about my adventures making challah at home. By way of background, we have had 4 golden retrievers in our marriage, Seth and I, going back about 16 years, I think, at this point. So our first 2 girls that we had were Brandy and Ginger, and they've passed away, and now we have Marley and Chloe, and God bless them all because they're so wonderful. So this is going back to a Rosh Hashanah, probably about 10 years ago, and I was making a holiday challah. And the Jewish tradition, when we make challahs for especially the New Year holiday, we make a round challah to signify the circle of life and the positivity and optimism we have for the new year and for life in the future. So I worked hard to create this challah dough and did all the proper rising procedures, and I was rolling out the dough. And when you make a round challah, or at least when I make a round challah, I'm trying to roll the longest piece of dough I possibly can so that you can roll it up into a coil. And so I rolled the dough, and probably, as I'm thinking about it, it was probably about, I don't know, maybe 3 feet long. Maybe that sounds a little bit long, but I was really determined to make as tight of a coil as I could, rolling it back up so that it would look really pretty when it baked. That was my thinking. So I roll out this long coil, and I'm rolling and rolling and rolling, and then I start to roll the dough up. And that, for me, requires a lot of concentration because one hand is kind of working the dough into the circle, and the other hand's trying to hold the circle still as I coil it. So I'm rolling and rolling, and I probably have about 2/3 of the challah dough rolled into this circle, and it's looking pretty good. And I'm continuing to roll, and I notice that there's a tug as I'm rolling the challah, and I can't get the dough to, keep pulling up. And I look down, and my dog Brandy has grabbed a hold of the end of the challah because I didn't notice that it was hanging over the edge of the counter. And so she's tugging, and I'm looking at her, and she's looking at me. And I literally was in a panic because we have a large in-town family, and I was required that year to make the challah. It was my assignment. I will apologize in advance to my local family, cousins, sisters, if you didn't know this story. But in any case, I had to think quickly, so I broke off the edge of the challah and let Brandy eat the couple inches that she had hung on to or was tugging at. So she munched her part, and then I continued making the challah with my part. And I promise that I did not get any of Brandy's licking or saliva into the challah, but I had to think fast. And I also had to make a judgment call because I didn't know whether I should just move forward with this challah that my doggy tugged on, or just, call it quits and go buy a challah. But my family did like my homemade challah. So I did go on, I made the challah, and I have to say, making challah with dogs is quite an adventure, and it continues to be an adventure. So again, apologize to the family that ate the challah. And never knew about that. I don't usually do it, but thought you would get a kick out of that story. Shabbat Shalom. Have a wonderful weekend and Mother's Day.